Thanks for joining me at Let's Celebrate with Dreamy Designs. Today we are going to be sublimating two items using the same image. The design I will be using is an image I created and is found on my Etsy shop. You can find it linked below. The two products we are sublimating on are a stainless steel water tumbler and a 100% polyester shirt. Who is this for? This tutorial is for crafters who love creating new and trending products. Also for small business owners looking for new designs, as well as anyone who is learning the steps on sublimating for different products like t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, keychains, bookmarks, and more. Let's get started. The printer I use to print off for a sublimation design is a normal Epson Printer ET-8550, which I converted by switching out their normal ink with my Linkos sublimation ink. I then add my A-Sub sublimation paper to the machine. After I print off my design, I prep all of my materials and heat up my PYD Life Tumbler Press. Now I believe I ordered mine on Amazon, but I will have all of my materials and supplies linked below. When sublimating onto an item, you will need to flip your design, or reverse the image when printing it out. The reason why? It's because you are placing the ink face down on the image and heating the ink into the fibers of the product. That's why it has to be sublimation product. And that's why you don't feel the image on your product like you might with an iron-on vinyl. This is a nice smooth finish. I heat up my machine at 380 degrees for 120 seconds, which I do twice, so the tumbler is actually heating up for 240 seconds altogether. I grab my water tumbler, which this one I have never done before. It is a bit wider and it has a more matte finish on it, instead of the normal 20-ounce shiny tumbler. I also grab my heat-resistant gloves, a heat-resistant tape, a measuring tape, alcohol wipe, paper towel, lint roller, and a cup holder. After wiping with an alcohol wipe or Clorox wipe, I dry it off and then use my lint roller just to make sure no fuzzies are on it. Then I grab my design. This design is not a full wraparound, so I just need to line it up nice and even. I don't like leaving the straight edges from the paper, just in case it ever shows, so I rip the paper all around. Now, once I have measured the design, I like where it is sitting on the tumbler. I then put it on my holder to keep it firmly held down. The trick to sublimation is having the design tightly on the product, so you get a nice bright design. Then I use my heat-resistant tape to firmly keep my image on my tumbler. I wrap it on the sides first, and then the top and bottom. Some people may teach different, but this is how I learned, and this is how I do it. How did I learn? Just like you are right now, YouTube. Next, I grab my parchment paper, which are pre-cut sheets. You can get these at Walmart or the normal parchment paper on a roll. I just prefer the sheets. I take the lid off of my water tumbler and wrap it in one of the sheets, and then place it inside the tumbler heat press for 120 seconds on 380. Once it beats, I readjust the tumbler and put it in again for another 120 seconds. It will be very hot, so it is highly recommended to wear heat-resistant gloves. When you take off the parchment paper, usually you can see your design through the paper. I will put the tumbler off to the side and move on to the shirt while the tumbler cools down. Once I lay out the shirt, I then use a lint roller to grab any hair or fuzz that may be on it. I did turn on my VEVOR Heat Press machine at the same time as the tumbler press machine, because I do find it takes some time to warm up. Today I will try pressing the shirt at 390 for 70 seconds. After using the lint roller, I then place the shirt in the press for 10 seconds. I just folded it in half to show where the middle of the shirt is. For the shirt design, I grab the flipped image and place it on the front. I have a shirt ruler, which can help line up the design, but I always use 3 fingers from the collar to the design for best placement. Once I believe it's in a good spot, I double check with my measuring tape. I measure from the inside cornered sleeve to the start of the design to measure out from both sides. They look pretty even, so then I rip off the edges of the paper and secure my image with my heat-resistant tape. Next, I put a sheet of parchment paper inside the shirt. This helps to prevent any bleeding from the design through to the back of the shirt and even onto the machine. I also cover the top of the design to protect my machine from getting any ink onto it. Firmly press down on the heat press and wait the full 70 seconds until the machine beeps for you to lift up. The shirt will be hot, so carefully take out the shirt and lay it down. This is the fun part. I love taking the tape off and looking at the final product. You will see the ink is off of the paper and now onto the shirt. Now I see the middle of the design could have been darker, and there was still some black on the paper. So next time I might either increase the temperature to 400 degrees or leave it at 390 and just increase the time by 5 to 10 seconds. Next, I wanted to measure the image for you to show it's about 8 inches long and 8 inches high. Now for the water tumbler. Now that it is cooled down, I peel off the tape and check to see how it turned out. Because I have never tried this tumbler before, I didn't know if the times would be the same as my shiny 20-ounce tumblers, but I did the same temperature and times, and I like how it turned out. Sometimes the design may look ghosted, which just means the ink didn't fully go into the product, and therefore has spots or areas which look faded. But all in all, I am loving the look of this design on this type of water jug. I hope you do too. If you have any questions about the products I used or on the steps, just leave me a comment. I'm not a professional, and I will always be learning new and improved ways to sublimate and to create designs for these products. I hope you can check out my next video. Take care and have fun crafting.